Grand afternoon. Hi, my name is Leonard Munson, the psychic astrologer. My website is readingsbyleonardtmunson.net. Uranus in Gemini in 2025. The future is written in the stars. What does it mean when Uranus is in Gemini? In mid-2025, Uranus enters Gemini, one of the 12 constellations that makes up the zodiac. This indicates a period of unexpected changes, radical ideas that will reshape communication and society for years to come. Uranus and Gemini dates. 2025 feels like a constant shifting cosmic weather pattern. First, Neptune moves into Aries, then Saturn follows suit a few weeks later. In July, Uranus will lead grounded Taurus for free spirit Gemini. Uranus enters Gemini on July the 7th, 2025. Uranus will retrograde back into the Taurus November the 7th, 2025. Uranus moves back into Gemini April the 25th, 2026 to May the 22nd, 2033. What does Uranus mean in astrology? The seventh planet from the Sun was discovered on March the 13th, 1781 by a British astronomer, William Herschel. However, astronomers have noticed the ice giant long before Herschel's discovery. Uranus was not recognized as a planet until Herschel determined it was not a comet, but indeed a planet. Like the other planets, Uranus was named after a figure in Greek mythology. Uranus was an equal partner to Gaia. Together, they bore the 12 Titans and the 3 Cleops and the 3 Herculanes. However, Uranus despised his children and hid them from the world. Saddened Gaia, she schemed with her children to overthrow him. The youngest son, Cronus, destroyed Uranus with a sickle, causing his blood to fall to the earth and impregnating Gaia. This tale of rebellion is woven into the Uranus astrological signature. Uranus is associated with sudden change, upheaval, innovation, group activities, the collective, and rebellion. It is the planet of shake-ups, wake-ups, breakthroughs. This cool planet favors the ice-cold logic and revolutionary moves. How Uranus and Gemini will impact society. Gemini is a zodiac communicator. It is known for being inventive, curious, witty, and quick thinking. Transportation, technology, education, neighborhoods, and writing all fall under the domain of the twins. When Uranus enters the sign of the twins, we can expect change and progress in all things associated with Gemini. What might that look like? Innovation to travel could mean a shift away from gas-powered vehicles or move towards updating mass public transportation. Education could see vast reforms with more options or new ideas on how best to learn. How we communicate could mean abandoning social media for new forms of connection or utilizing fallout technology to send messages to each other. New forms of literature could shake up the publishing industry. Significant changes to neighborhoods may show up as gentrification, communal living, or update infrastructure. Because Uranus takes about 7 years to move through a sign, we might not see these changes until we are halfway through this period. The best attitude is one of flexibility as things begin to take shape. The last 2 times Uranus was in Gemini coincided with war, including the Civil War in 1861 to 1865 and World War II, 1941 to 1945. Does this mean we might experience something like that? Not necessarily. However, it is a possibility we could be forced to deal with ongoing disinformation campaigns via social media or technological warfare, such as cyber attacks. Uranus is a rebel planet, so the collective may be ready for a revolution, which could come through unions, class consciousness, and culture change. The status quo might fall out of favor and get the hey he ho. Considering that Pluto, the planet of transformation, is in Aquarius, a new exclusive world may be made possible. This will not come without conflict. Instead, we must be ready to push back and fight for our ideas. Uranus and Gemini in the natal chart. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was from 1941 to 1948. That's me. If you were born during that time, you were from the generation of people interested in new ways of thinking. You were a young adult during the 60s, a time of great societal upheaval, free love, anti-war protests, and civil rights was part of your life experience. So this next transit may fall like a redo, folks. But during this previous Uranus and Gemini transit will enter what is known as the Uranus return, a cosmic event that may come once in a lifetime. Uranus return marks a period where you are free to be yourself, rather than conforming to whatever society deems normal. It is no longer your concern. The urge to fit in falls away, allowing your authentic self to shine. Friendships become essential now. Your independence, a Uranus theme, is also up for review. Can you still live independently, or it is time to shift to assisted living? Use this time to assess your health, cognitive abilities, and what makes the most sense. In the United States, we will also experience a Uranus return. According to the chart, Uranus is stationed in the U.S. 6th house of work and health. This means the United States could experience changes in how we do our jobs and care for our bodies. Technology could play a huge role in both. Labor unions and workplace revolution could shift dynamics, placing power in the hands of the people. The gig economy could grow as people desire freedom from the office. New types of industry may emerge as well. Uranus retrograde. Uranus was stationed retrograde at various times during its transit through Gemini. Uranus retrograde is time to reflect on the changes you want or need to make. Much restlessness can occur, but it's best to put a lid on it until Uranus is direct. During Uranus retrograde, you can reconnect with old friends, review current allowances, and revisit goals. The first Uranus retrograde happens from September the 6th, 2025 to February the 3rd, 2026. During this time, it will slide back into Taurus for one last hurrah. Uranus in Taurus is associated with changes in revenue, values, possession. This could bring an end to influencers, cultures, or too much preoccupation with material success. Uranus will be back in Gemini on April the 25th, 2026, where it will remain until 2023. How will Uranus and Gemini will affect you? Aries, Uranus and Gemini promise to bring out your boldest original ideas. Your thinking will be innovative, enable you to blaze trails. If you are a writer, you could produce some of your most far-out work. This is also a fantastic time for short, unexpected travels, especially with friends or siblings. Watch out for sudden changes in mood and mental restlessness. Taurus, your finance could fluctuate as a great deal during this transit. Sudden gains may be followed by losses. It is wise to create a sensible budget to weather any ups and downs. It is also possible you will change your attitude about material goods or values. For example, you may decide to boycott brands that do not align with your beliefs. This is part one of Uranus retrograding on July the 6th.